Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing good. Now in this video we'll be talking about how to design a test case template and how to write test cases. So let's get started. The screen you see talks about test case template. This test case template is completely designed by me. It's based upon my requirements and my needs. You can design your own test case template based upon your project and client needs and your understanding towards your test cases. Test case template, nothing but it defines what you actually want to portray to client, to your team members, and what is the best you can understand from it. Okay, so to get started with, my test case templates consist of username, serial number. Sorry, serial number is nothing but its identity of each and every test case. Next comes is the project name. Project name is kind of optional. You can keep project name or you can skip this column. I keep project name because I am working on multiple projects, so it will be easy for me to understand which project is talking about what. Next comes the module name. Module name is kind of important, but again, it's an optional and completely individual choice. Module name is nothing but it helps you understand which module you are working on. Now, starting column B to column G are very important columns. Test scenario, nothing but as you know, test scenario is what to be tested. So it has to have a test scenario. It should mention what test scenario you are testing. Then comes description. Description is the test scenario description, and then prerequisite. What is prerequisite? From the term itself, you understand prerequisites are nothing but how to reach that condition. It's like steps to reach that condition. What you're going to test, the scenario. Expected result is what the system should actually behave like. Actual result is how the system is actually behaving. Column I to column M, column O are complete comes into existence when you are executing this test cases written by you. So what is status? Status, it talks about the status of the test case when executing, whether it got passed, failed, deferred, or whatever. Okay, executed by is just to have a safer side record. That's who executed it, what date it got created, executed, what date it got what date it got created, who created it, and comments. Comments generally come from your client, your peer reviews. Okay, so this kind of comments and defect ID comes into existence when you're executing and the test case fails, and you need to have a defect, and you will write the defect number here. On that note, let me show you the defect template as well. So defect template will be very simple. It will just consist of a serial number, description, steps to recreate. Steps to recreate is because you are creating the defect, you know how to reach to that defect, but a layman or a developer might not know how to reach to that defect. So it's very important to specify each and every step in step to recreate. An actual result, how the system is behaving and what was expected from the system. Why did it fail? If you say this is actual result is behaving, then what is the expected result? So these things are very important. And same defect ID, whatever you are giving in the column A, will be mentioned in column O if any test case fails. Now let's get started in writing a test case. Now let's start with a very simple and very basic functionality, which is login functionality. As you guys by now might be knowing that I love login functionality because it's very simple to understand and very easy to take that as an example. Moving forward, let's get started. Now I'm writing the test case of a very simple login functionality to show you, and I'll be covering both positive and negative scenarios. Okay, let's get started. So first I'll start with uh, positive scenario. So for example, I'll just take an example of the project name as Amazon. Okay, module name is login. The scenario is login functionality. Description is sign in. Prerequisite Amazon landing page. Now, what did you understand from the prerequisite when I say landing Amazon landing page? It says that the landing page of Amazon, meaning Amazon.com, should be available on your browser. Then only you can click on sign in button. You cannot write the test cases for Amazon and go to Google and click on sign in. That will never work, right? So that's a prerequisite that you need to be on a Amazon landing page. Now, what is expected result? So generally what happens when you read the FRS, you need to understand whether the client is talking about the position of label, buttons, text, links, or everything, or any such things. If they are talking about any such thing, do mention the position of the buttons, columns, and links and text boxes in your test cases. That's a good thing to write. It shows that you are being very mindful. You are reading it. You are giving a very mindful and a very descriptive test cases. So generally what happens in Amazon, when you see the login button or the sign in button will be in the top right corner, right? So let's write that same thing here. Sign in button should be present in right corner. Now, there is a thumb rule of writing an expected result. At least I believe that it should be written in this manner. When you are writing an expected result, make sure that the expected result contains the word should in it, because that is how, when you write should, it emphasizes that the system should behave in this particular manner and there is no other manner it can behave in. So there is no exception to it. It has to behave in this manner. There is no other go for it. So should emphasize what you actually are expecting from the system and what is expected from the system to behave. Okay, so this is a thumb rule. Please remember this. This is a thumb rule that expected result should always contain the word should. Okay, now column H will come into picture, means actual result comes into picture when you are executing the test cases. Okay, when you are executing, you will write how the system is actually behaving. It expected is how it should behave, actual how it is behaving. Now status also comes into picture when you're executing the test case, which talks about whether the test case is failing or passing, or whether there are certain functionalities which client wanted to have it in the first release but they cannot have due to the development commitments and developers word, they cannot have it now. So what, and the tester have already written the test case. Now what they'll do, they'll move that test case to a status called as deferred, which means not for now. Okay, you can even write NA, not applicable for this release, or but generally a technical and a professional term or for a test it is deferred to another release. Or if you know and what particular date it will be releasing, you can write deferred to release second or deferred to release 3 or deferred for now. Okay, so defer generally, so it will have particular scenario statuses like pass, fail, deferred, not applicable and deferred to is one and the same. And executed by is just for your records. Why do we it's optional, completely optional. Executed by, executed date, just to keep a record. Executed date, I say it can, or you can have it because it helps you maintaining the versioning of the application. Created by is again completely an optional and your choice, but on records it's good to have created by. Created date is automatic. If it is system generated, I mean, if someone is using a tool, it will be system generated and it will have all these things automatically. uh, Now coming on to the next column is uh, comments. Comments are nothing but which suppose if something is failing, you will write here, or if developer is working on a defect, he will write, because it's an Excel sheet and it has to share across the same team, right? So because you're writing in a template, there is no such another common tool which the team is using only other than the sheet. So it has to be in share across the team, with developers, with BA, with project managers, with test lead, with development team, with among the other testers. So comments will come from whoever is working on it. Suppose you are today working on sign-in functionality, tomorrow you might not be working on sign-in functionality. So people who's working again for the first time it would help them to understand from these columns, from this data, like okay, if they are facing any issue, if suppose like I executed, I'll write my name as Lubna there, and okay, Lubna executed, so let's go ask what if they are facing any issue. So for such things, these columns are important to have. But if you're using any tool, these will be pre-populated by its own. It will take the execution date, it will take the created date, it will take executed by, it will take if you're writing any comments, it will be mentioned in the defect itself. So all comes in pre-populated in the tool. Now what is defect ID? Defect ID, as I've shown the defect template starting. So whatever defects you will be logging, if the test case fails, you will write the test case defect ID here in this test case and say that due to this defect it failed. So it will help you understand. So one sheet in a glance should give you the complete information of what is a testing team doing? What did they test? When they say Amazon project and when they say login module, they when they come on different columns, they should understand what was done. Okay, if it is failed, why did it fail, and so on. So, as you know, like login functionality will have four scenarios always, one positive and three negative generally. Okay, on again you can have multiple combinations over there depending upon the how intense the login functionality is developed and being described by the client. So generally, what happens? One is the correct data when you give. So this is just here in the first step. We are just verifying the sign in button is there. The second one will be enter correct username and password. Okay, so this is a positive scenario. You're entering both the username and password, both username and click sign in. Okay, now second scenario will be enter incorrect username and correct password and click sign in. Third will be enter correct username and incorrect password and click sign in. Third will be enter both username and password in incorrect and click sign in. Now if you see these four steps, the common thing is I have written is click sign in. Why? Because if you write as enter username and password click and leave the statement as like that, what will be the next what will be the tester doing next? You don't know, right? If layman is coming and reading, okay, enter username and password. If he's not smart enough, he'll just enter and he'll sit. So you need to write click sign in, click sign in. So you need to write correct password, enter sign in. Incorrect password, click sign in. So that these are repetitive, but this is very common for a tester to do it. Okay, so keep certain things in mind. As I told you, the thumb rule, it should have the word should in the things where you really wanted to emphasize something that the system should behave like this. So these is nothing but your testing, so such things cannot have a should word there. Okay, it depends upon the statement you are making. An actual result is how the system is behaving. Suppose if this is passing, okay, fine, it is there. Okay, this is also passing. Now suppose if this is failing, okay. Example, take an example if the first one fails. Now why is it failing? So in actual result, actually it is supposed to be having the sign button in the top right corner. But if it is failing, now what will you write? Actual result sign in button is not present in top right corner. Instead, mention where it is present. Somewhere random. Okay, mention where it is present, whether it is as per the FRS it is like four links and then sign in button. But when things got actually developed, how actually it is behaving is two links, sign in button, and two links. So that's also failing. So just keep certain things in mind. Be very mindful when testing. So this is what my video is talking about today, of how to design test case template and how to write test cases considering both positive and negative scenario. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'll come up with again next video which will be talking about a client defined tool. Generally I'll be taking an example of Jira where I'll be writing a test case which will have all these stories, so I can show you properly how the Jira works like for a client. When you say about how a tester can work smoothly with Jira, you will have everything. You will have a story, you will have a task, you will have test cases, everything stored in Jira, and it will automatically have the you need to write these columns as the top row which I am talking about, the prerequisites, everything. So everything will be designed in the tool and everything will have its own space to write. It will pre-populate executed date, it will pre-populate it, who's creating, because it will be on your sign in, so it will automatically have your name, executed date. So that is system generated things. This is how the tool is designed. So in next video I'll be talking about how Jira will work, and Thank you so much for watching my video. And guys, remember, I really love to make short videos rather than like 40-45 minutes video. I really get bored watching such videos, so I assume everyone gets very bored watching huge lengthy videos. So I'll make very short and cute videos hopefully, and I just hope you guys like it. Once again, I thank you so much for watching my video. Thanks a lot. Be safe, be happy. Bye.